Click, click, boom. What's going on, faithfuls? The Nothing But Niners crew is back, and we are here to bring you guys an update show, man. This is going to be our preview behind the 49ers versus the Patriots. Week 7, 2020 is coming, man. But before we do, I got to talk to my guy, Tony, man. Big dog, what's going on, man? How you feeling today?
Damn, I almost messed that up. What's up, buddy? What's going on? I had to think about that for a minute. No, yeah, definitely. What's going on, man? Great. I had to work a couple of days. Couldn't get on the last couple of shows. Just looking to catch up, talk some 49ers football here, and some news and some rumors possibly flying around. That's all I got for now.
Yeah, it's been a hectic couple of days for the 49ers too, man. Not just us personally, right? This team is going through a whole lot, but it's good to have you back up here, man. I missed having you on here, man, and the people did too. Every time we do a show, where's Tony? Where's Tony? We see Tony in the comments. Tony knows everything. You guys are stupid. Where's Tony? So we're back, man.
Who said
Tony,
that?
Oh, man, let me tell you, man. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. But
it's all good.
I'm just telling you, man. Look,
I don't think I know everything. I just talk what I feel, man. That's all.
No, they didn't say you think it. They said you do. They say Tony knows, man. He's a smart one on this show.
I wish they would hire me, no?
Hey, man, one step closer, man. One step closer. So listen, man, guys, we got to go through a couple of quick formalities here. We won't take up a lot of your time. Oh, I didn't even realize I didn't have the brand on your wall over there. My bad, man. I didn't mean to do that. But let's put the overlay there. You guys know exactly where to find us. This is where everything is. All right, you guys see the Facebook, Instagram, as well as Twitch is Nothing But Niners spelled all the way out. You can see here that the Snapchat and the Twitter handle is Nothing But 9 ERS. Guys, the only reason it's like that is because we couldn't fit the word Niners. It was too many characters. But the website is just like the other ones above it, nothingbutniners.com. If you want to send us an email with questions, comments, and concerns, NB9ERS, that's NB9ers at nothingbutniners.com. You guys, if you're here on the YouTube page, we thank you. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe button, and turn on your notifications as well, because that is going to be a way that you get in touch with us when we bring you impromptu shows. So we are here, man. Again, I am 49ers Mike _NFL on Twitter. Tony is my guy. He is NJ Niner fan 499. And we got some stuff to break down, man. I mean, Tony, the team came out with the injury report. There's trade rumors. Where do you want to start, bro? Yeah, it's another one of those things, man.
It turned into a weekly thing this season, 2020. Great year. We'll start off with the injury report. One new addition out of nowhere, out for this week, and that is Jimmy Ward. He's out. You got Quan Alexander out. We knew about that. Raheem Mostert with the ankle, who's rumored to be going on injured reserve sometime tonight or tomorrow, and Jaquiski Tartt out with the groin. So we're going to have a whole new secondary in the back end, it seems like. And, it's interesting. And it's my opinion, is really interesting because I think it gives the team the option to take a look at what they have going forward with Tartt being a free agent and, stuff like that. But, I mean, I'm kind of getting tired with these people going out. It's a weekly thing. I mean, everyone who says, we don't need preseason, I think some of these freaking injuries are because we didn't have preseason. So that's that. And then I just forgot two questionable guys. I'm sorry. Trent Williams with the ankle and Jeffrey Wilson Jr. with the calf.
Yeah. Let's start with the outs, and then I'll get back to the other guy that you just named there. Do you think that the preseason has anything to do with this? I mean, we're going into week 7 here. I mean, they've had a lot of time, and I know we didn't have preseason games, but there was an off season, a shortened, albeit, but there was an off season program. Here we are in week 7. I mean, these are free. I mean, this is a quadricep injury that happened in practice. I don't think preseason would have helped that in Jimmy Ward's case. I'm talking.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, because allegedly it happened yesterday in practice, but, they're talking about potentially putting him on the IR. So that's a minimum of 3 weeks. So now, how many more injuries could this team sustain? They've been doing the next man up thing, but getting back to your main question is preseason. I definitely think preseason had not just Jimmy specifically, but all these injuries. These guys, I think we went over it in the beginning of the season, what their training camp was like. They had, I think, 4 days out of the 18 in pads. What the hell is that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then their
Yeah.
conditioning. Yeah, people could run in a straight line, sprints, wind sprints. It's when you cut is when you get soft, like the ligaments, the tendons, the soft tissue injuries, the hamstrings, the quads, the calves. So, yeah, they had their, you know, calisthenics and those type of workouts, but it's different than game. It's different than game, you know, movements and testing your muscles and stuff like that. It's just like I'm tired of someone always getting injured. Always, it's always someone
Yeah.
getting injured.
Yeah, this brings the question now with Tart and Ward ruled out for this game, which is also I was surprised that Tart was actually ruled out. I just felt like it came kind of early, but then today is Friday, so it's just been that kind of week for me. Do we think that we see Jonathan Cyprien elevated, or do they rival who they have in house and hope that there's no further injuries? Like they can't do that, can they?
Well, I think if Ward goes on the IR, I think they're definitely elevating somebody. The question is whether it's going to be Maiden or it's going to be Cyprien. And then we also have to take into consideration the severity of Jaworski's groin. No one knows. So it's going to be interesting what comes out by 1 o'clock tomorrow, because that's the deadline to make their movements and to put somebody on an IR and bring somebody up and sign them to the active 53 if they decide to do going forward.
Yeah, it's gonna be very, very interesting, man. So let me think. We got the Cyprien thing here. Another move that still has not happened, and I want to know what your thoughts on it are. But we have still not seen Raheem Mostert sent to IR. Now, think on that for a second, guys. I can see I'm not in the attic. I'm back in my pop's basement with all the giant shit behind me. I was trying to stop you guys from seeing all that. Okay, there's plenty of space here. I'm not in an attic. Hopefully, I don't make you guys too dizzy. All the TVs and stuff are down here and set up. I was trying not to show any of the Giants crap, so I had it set up here where you guys can see the ceiling of the basement. All right, so I'm trying to hide the Giant stuff. Now, why isn't he on IR? I know that they said, oh, it's coming later, oh, it's inevitable, right? But it still hasn't happened. The team has made multiple roster moves. Okay, we traded and acquired a guy. They still haven't sent this guy to IR. Is there a chance that it's only a week or two injury?
It could be. It could very well be that. I mean, because we don't know the severity of he's with a high ankle sprain, right?
That's what they said. When did this become official?
I didn't see that. Huff, I didn't see that.
I'm not saying it didn't happen. I've been super busy today, so it could have happened. I didn't see it, but I didn't see that reported anywhere. So I'm not sure. But yeah, they said it's a high ankle sprain, right? They said it's the same thing that Jimmy had, 4 to 6 weeks, but Jimmy came back in 2. Now, Mostert is a guy who doesn't cut much, so is a high ankle sprain as severe to him? He doesn't cut a lot in a given run, I should say. He's a one-cut guy, and then he goes, but he's not a guy that's going to hopscotch his way through a defensive line. You know what I'm saying? So, What do you think? Now, I'm looking to see if he excuse me. I'm looking to see
as far as Mostert, I'd rather be safe than sorry. I don't want them to rush him back. If he is on the IR, it is what it is. If he goes on the IR tomorrow, that's 3 weeks from tomorrow that he can come back to the active roster, or they open up the practice window for him to come back. But basically, if he's not 100%, you can't roll with him, and that's that. Yeah, I'm still trying to scroll through Twitter real quick to see if we get a cover.
Well, Kiana Martin did her write-up. Kiana Martin did her write-up. He says, with Raheem Mostert ankle going on IR or injury reserve, a spot becomes available on the team's 53-man roster. So that was what she wrote in her article from today, just a couple of hours ago. It said that as if the 49ers weren't already dealing with a number of injuries 7 weeks into the season, San Francisco will be without both of their starting safeties for the team as the team travels to Foxborough to take on the New England Patriots. Jimmy Ward suffered a quad strain. Oh, I thought it was oh, yeah, okay. Suffered a quad strain during Thursday's practice, has been ruled out of the contest. We gave it a 1.5 grade, so I don't think it will be real long, Kyle said. but we know he's for sure not going to make the trip with us. We hope that it'll give him a chance to be ready next week. Additionally, Jaquiski Tart was ruled out after suffering a groin injury in week 6. San Francisco strong safety was replaced by Marcel Harris, who was likely going to get the start in his absence. With Raheem Mostert ankle going on injury reserve, the spot becomes available. But she didn't say that he actually, like the team announced. I still haven't seen the team announce it. I think it's been speculation all along. Because Raheem Mostert is listed as out. Listen, he's listed as out on the team's official practice report, but he's listed as did not participate or did not practice. They don't list anybody who's on IR on here. Wait, is Quan Alexander on IR?
No, he's another one that they were kind of like they kind of played it on both ways. So
yeah, so the injury report, the people who were listed today are Quan Alexander, Dante Johnson, Raheem Mostert, Jaquiski Tart, Trent Williams, Jimmy Ward, and Jeff Wilson Jr. None of those guys are on IR. So why would he be listed there if he's officially on IR? Because they don't say Richard Sherman. Yeah. Sherman's on IR. So it doesn't make much sense. I don't think he's officially there yet. I still think that people are speculating that he's going to be there.
Yeah, because they keep talking about it.
Right. So we'll talk about what the team can do against the Patriots as far as the running back position goes. Some other injury news. Tony broke down or mentioned earlier that Trent Williams is back in the mix a little sooner than expected, right? But he's questionable, if I'm not mistaken. They're not sure if he's going to play. He's questionable, right?
Correct.
Now, they got rid of one of those titles like probable or doubtful, which was worse than questionable. But he's not that. So there's a good chance that he plays on Sunday, right?
Yes. There is a good chance he plays. The only thing I'm kind of like confused about was when he went down, it was for a head injury. And he went to the tent, they evaluated him for a concussion that they said on the live broadcast. And then where the hell did his ankle injury pop up? So it just seems like there's always something. It's kind of frustrating. I just see someone just posted in here. Yeah, D Ford was seen working on the sled on the sidelines. Yep. You know, is he pushing the sled or sled pushing him? We don't know, But, it's just so frustrating. This team is so damn talented, and it's just blow after blow, week after week, and it's really frustrating. Really is.
We're back to testing the very depths of the roster, man. We're calling on people from practice squad and signing guys off the street to put them on practice squad to use them the following week. But the team, they're not foreign to this, man. They got to the Super Bowl last year by using all 70, however many players they had at their disposal last year. They used every single one of them. We've already used all 3 quarterbacks this year. We've used five running backs this year, right? We're up to 5, 3,
5, and then we have the 6th one, which is Walter on the practice squad.
Right. So we're touching the depth, man. We're doing everything that we can, and this team, they're no stranger to it. But Tony, man, I saw some tweets. I saw some people being extremely negative, and they're simply saying the Niners are waving the white flag. I saw this on Twitter. Saw people saying that they're giving up. I got to get your thoughts on it, man. How do you feel? Do you agree? Do you think the Niners are just saying, look, guys, that's enough injuries. Like, let's just see what the depth is and get through the season and get ready for next year?
I mean, listen, it could be potentially that. It could be. I'm not going to sit here and say absolutely not. It could be that. But, because what's raising the red flag to me is, okay, like we just talked about Mostert. Mostert, high ankle sprain. He's still not officially, according to what we just talked about, on the IR. But Jimmy Ward's on the IR with a quad strain. Boom, done, on the IR. So it's kind of like, what is going on here? They go out and make a move.
No, Jimmy Ward's not on IR.
No, Kyle said he's going on the IR tomorrow because they got the corresponding move is to bring up another safety.
Wait, but I read
to get a safety.
No, Kyle in Kiana Martin's piece. Let me make sure I read that right. She said Jimmy Ward suffered a quad strain during Thursday's practice and ruled out for the contest. Yeah. The 49ers are hopeful Ward won't miss significant time, but will continue to monitor his progress over the next week. And then here's Kyle's quote. We gave it a 1.5 grade, so I don't think it will be real long. But we know for sure he's not going to make the trip with us. We hope that we hope that will help him get a chance to be ready for next week. That's Kyle's quote from today.
Yeah, I don't know. You're seeing conflicting reports all over the place. It's
right. And that's what's going on with the
confusing.
people is that as soon as someone gets injured, we're saying, "Oh, he's going to IR." We thought the same thing for Trent Williams. We thought the same thing for Raheem Mostert. We thought the same thing for Quan Alexander. We assume the same thing for Jimmy. Every player that gets injured, we're just saying, "Okay, well, he's going to be gone for 3 weeks. Next man up."
Yeah.
But I don't think Jimmy Ward's going to go on IR based off of that Kyle quote. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. But that could be the move that we're waiting for Raheem Mostert.
Yeah. So, I mean, listen, it is what it is, but you're going to get a good look at Trevarius Moore. You're going to get a good look at either Harris or Cyprian starting tomorrow. He's going to have to be brought up. Maybe even Jared Maiden's going to be coming up too, depending on the severity. If they make the decision to IR him, they don't know. We don't know. Nobody knows. But as far as the waving the white flag, I mean, it's kind of like how much more? Like, yes, the next man keeps coming up, but finally our offensive line played lights out last week versus the Rams. Am I correct? Right? So now all of a sudden you're taking Garland out. And now Grissou's got to get in sync with the guards and attack, with making the calls and gel together. So continuity is another. It comes up again. Continuity. Well, they have it with Grissou in. So, it's one thing after another. It's freaking frustrating as hell. But listen, if they keep fighting, if they keep coming back, it just shows you how really tight this locker room is, how strong this team is, and how well of an oiled machine it is.
Did Garland go to IR?
I don't know. Yeah, Garland went to IR. Yes.
That's who went. That's the guy. That's the roster spot.
But that's one. So that one, they got to decide, because don't forget Tevin Coleman's not here, so it'll be just Jerick McKinnon, Hasty, Wilson's still questionable, so they might have to bring the kid up, Walter, or they do the safety. So now that's why you might need the second guy going to the IR. But I mean, listen, we can go back and forth about this all day, and don't forget, Mike, we added Willis to the roster in the trade. So whose spot is he taking?
Well, he's already on the 53 somehow. I think he probably got Garland's spot.
Either that, or I think he might have an exemption until he clears the Niners have a 53-man exemption until he clears the COVID protocol. So he might not even count. So that's I'm sorry about that. I apologize. But yeah, so I mean, it is what it is. We got to move forward, and that's it.
Yeah. All right, so the other rumor that's coming out now is that Dante Pettis is officially on the trade block. This was not denied by the team. Kyle Shanahan even said they have fielded a couple of calls about him, but have not settled on anything yet. Is this another one of Kyle's schemes to motivate him? Kyle and Dante Johnson both came out at the beginning of the season saying that Kyle basically tried every trick in the book to motivate this young man. Benched him in big games, tough love, super supportive. Do you think that this is possibly another way to say, hey, get your shit together or we're getting rid of you? Do you think that this is a hoax? Or do you think that there are actually teams calling saying, hey, can we get Dante Pettis from you?
No, that I think definitely that's enough. Like I think, they had enough of it. It's 3 seasons he had to come in. First season, okay, yeah, new rookie coming in, whatever. Second season, he didn't take it. He didn't take it serious, right? They told him to beef up a little bit. He didn't know the playbook that great. He was messing up on alignments, routes. So that's it with the second season. Now you're in year 3, and no, year 4. Is this year 4 or 3 for him? I think it's 3, or going into year 4. Yeah, going into year 4. Now it's like, to the point, like, this is year 4, dude. You should know this offense like the back of your hand, and you should be at the point where you're comfortable to perform and play to your best ability. This guy was the number 1 punt returner in the NCAA, number 1 in the country, and he can't even return kicks for the 49ers. There's something not right with this whole situation with him. I think the team, if they are decided on him, they need to move on from him. They're just keeping him inactive. What is the inactive doing for him? It's doing nothing for him. All right. I'd rather bring in another young wide receiver, bring him up to take his spot, or we add another piece to the puzzle. So listen, I don't know how true the reports are. Could they be getting calls, or the Niners are giving calls? There was a rumor, I think, in the draft season, during the draft process, Green Bay offered corner Josh Jackson, to San Francisco for Pettis, but Lynch wanted a sixer in return with Jackson to get Pettis. And the deal, I guess, fell through allegedly. That's what I read a couple times. But listen, you got to cut your losses now. If he's not a part of your plans going forward, it's a wrap.
You're absolutely right, man. You gotta stop wasting time in roster spots, especially when a team is this injured. If we weren't this injured and we had the luxury of keeping a couple of guys around, then that's different. But right now, we don't have that. We don't have that luxury. I just find it kind of hard to believe that someone's calling. I do think that there are a couple of teams that could use another wide receiver with veteran or experience in the NFL, but that they feel like there could be still some untapped potential. We've seen guys come to this team that didn't have much of a career and perform well, and we've seen guys leave this team and go other places and perform well.
No, you're 100% right. And as far as other teams calling, listen, I'm sure there's a team that's willing to try to take a flyer who's desperate for a wide receiver right now. I mean, you called it out pretty much, Mike. You said the Saints, book it. So you don't think the Saints would take a 2022 7th-round pick and say, listen, we'll send you that. Just give us Pettis in return? I would take that and run with it. He's not a part of your plans. He's not even active. So what the hell do you need him here?
Right. Yeah, I think the Saints could use him. I mean, you got to remember that the Saints have 2 starting wide receivers out with Sanders on the COVID list, and then Thomas is still injured. So the Saints could definitely use a quarterback and then a wide receiver. And you have a guy there that could attest to at least his work ethic. And that would be Sanders, because he was in the locker room with him last year. So we'll see what happens, man. It's been an ugly turn of events for Dante Pettis. He showed a lot of promise at the end of his rookie year, and then he just, maybe a change of scenery will help him out, But here we are. We're about halfway through the show. Let's go ahead and get to this upcoming matchup. Is there any other rumors or injuries that we failed to discuss?
No, you guys didn't do a show last night, correct? I just want to touch on the Willis trade real quick. Just quick, brief, because I know you did the breaking news. Real quick, he was drafted, I think, in the 3rd or 4th round out of Kansas State by Cincinnati. I'm not banking on this guy. Is he talented? Yes. He ran a 4.53 in the combine. He did a 1.65 in a 3-cone. These are all phenomenal numbers. His 10-yard split was very low. So he is a bit of a workout warrior, but what I don't understand is his production was in the Big 12. He had, I think, 12 sacks his junior year, and then he went to the Bengals. He was in a rotation between Lawson, Dunlop, and then Hunt was there, and he got lost in the shuffle. Now he goes to the Jets. And if you look at the trade, the first headline is outside linebacker. He is not an outside linebacker. He's 6'3". Almost 6'4". He's 255 pounds. His hand belongs in the dirt going after the quarterback. And that's what he's going to get an opportunity to do. And if there's anybody that can get the best out of this kid, it's going to be Chris Kocurek. It's going to be Chris Kocurek. He's going to teach this kid how to pin his ears back and just play football. Do your thing. He's going to work on technique. He's not really the best-looking guy on film, but he does have a high motor. And, he has some tools to work with. So that's just real quick. I like the pickup. I would have loved to try maybe flip Dante Pettis from him and keep our draft pick. But, it is what it is. The Jets need a wide receiver, I thought possibly.
A lot of people weren't paying attention to it. We got him and the draft pick for a draft pick.
Yeah.
So
we sent a 6th last year. We sent the 6th 2022 and got him in the 7th for 2021, which that screams something to me. The 49ers have a big plans for this draft. They want a big draft class. That's the way I see it. We're going to get a compensation pick. We're short a 3rd-round pick. So we have a 1, 2. We have 1, 2, 4, 5. I think we're going to get a 5 or a 6. So I'll say 5. That's 2 5s. That's 5 picks. We have 6. And then we have 2 7s now. So now you're talking about an 8-man draft class. So they like to wheel and deal. They like to move up. They like to move down. You could see them potentially, if we have a high pick, if we don't do good the rest of the season, they can move down and collect more. So I think this draft is going to be very big on replenishing this roster, not a rebuild, replenishing. So we're going to get into that at a different show. I don't know if you want to read this comment. It's from Marine Ranger for $5 for the contribution. Thank you very much. She said, bros, I heard D Ford is back. D Ford is not back. D Ford is back on the outside field, working out a little bit, pushing the sled a little bit. He's nowhere near coming back and playing or any type of game shape. So I guess they're trying to see what he could do or what he has in him or what he's able to do, and before they make the decision and move forward.
Yeah. All right. So let me see here. Now let's get to this game. That was a good breakdown on the new lineman that we picked up. So we got to look forward to this game, man. And we've seen that the Patriots are still struggling. Their offense looks completely out of sync, and this team has probably practiced 3 times in the last 14 days because of their facility being shut down due to COVID. One, that's something that we have to keep in mind here. This team is potentially going to be exposed to their biggest risk of exposure so far since the season started. All right, but they're going to go into this game, and the league doesn't seem to be too concerned. So here we are. With that said, do the Niners have a chance here? Let's start there. Let's start with, do the Niners have a chance? We talked about the myriad of injuries on the defensive side of the ball. Now, if there's a side to have a bunch of injuries this week, you want that to be on the defensive side of the ball because that offense is struggling so much. And you need a healthy offense to try to outsmart or outplay Belichick and what he's going to do with his defense. So if there's ever a time to have defensive injuries, it's right now. All right, that's your little silver lining. But do the Niners have a chance? At the start of the season, this was one that a lot of people said might be a loss. They respected Belichick, and especially when they heard that they were going to get Cam Newton over there, they thought that Belichick with that kind of opinions and play calling. Can you hear that? You can hear that? Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. So, what are your thoughts, man? Do we have a chance?
A chance of beating the Patriots this week? Yes, I think we do. Team plays better on the road. That's number one. As far as a chance beating them, I just feel, listen, Bill Belichick is a friggin' genius. He's probably going to go down as one of the best coaches, like, him, Bill Walsh, in history. But I just feel that Cam Newton is so bad. He's not having a good season. He looked horrible last week. He was overthrown, underthrown, throwing behind, throwing in front. All his wide receivers, and this is a guy who has element on his fantasy team, and it just got me so mad and livid. They have a shutdown corner. It's going to be Gilmore. I don't know what he has up his sleeve, but like you said earlier when we were talking on the phone, he's not going to take Kittle out of the game because he has a guy that could cover tight ends. Previously, they covered Kelsey and a couple other good tight ends. So I just feel like the Niners could win this game, but I think Kyle needs to be on his A game because Belichick's going to throw the kitchen sink at him and try to confuse him. And what I mean by that is he's going to see things that he's not seen on film this year yet. And just one more thing before you say your part, talk about tendencies with Jimmy Garoppolo. If you don't think Bill Belichick knows what Jimmy can do, what he struggles at doing, and what he's good at doing, you got another thing coming because I got news for you. I said it on the show before the Miami game. Flores knew Jimmy's tendencies. He knew how to get to him and get him rattled. They overloaded one side. They overloaded it in his face, and it worked. So just that's something to keep your eye on during this game starting at 4:25 on Monday, and it's nationally televised.
I think I had a couple of concerns, but I'm looking at this as Kyle's opportunity, man. Kyle has lost 2 Super Bowls, and one was at the hand of Bill Belichick. People blamed his offense. He actually called the right play at the very end of that game. That running back just didn't pick up the blitz. And that would have been a touchdown, and that game was over and out of reach. The Falcons, for all intents and purposes, would have won that Super Bowl if that running back executed his assignment. But that running back is now here, if I'm not mistaken. And
I thought it was Freeman.
oh, it was Freeman that it wasn't Coleman? All right, maybe I was wrong.
I
Okay.
think it was Freeman.
Okay. All right.
I thought it
But
was
yeah,
Freeman.
so but Kyle's got his opportunity now to kind of get a little bit of revenge here. You know what I'm saying? He kind of stick it to him, but he also knows if there's ever a time where we're going to see Kyle keep his foot on the gas. So last week we started very quick the first half. Jimmy Garoppolo had over 260 yards in the first half, 3 touchdowns. He finished the game with less than 300 yards and 3 touchdowns still. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo basically didn't do anything all second half last week. I don't think that's the case this year. I think Shanahan knows that Belichick's defense is not going to allow him to get lackadaisical with his play calling.
They get comfortable.
Right. So I think he's going to have to do a couple of things. I have some interesting stats here to go over really quick, and we can talk about how this team should or could attack the Patriots defense based off of this, okay? So let's start with the run game, okay? The Patriots are ranked 12th against the run according to rushing yards allowed per attempt. They're ranked 12th, okay? And then if we look at passing, all right, pass defense per completion. I want to know passing yard per completion. The Patriots are towards the bottom of the league. They're 28th, with every completed pass being 11.7 yards, Tony. All right. That's huge. What are your thoughts on that? And just with those basic numbers, this isn't average yards per game. This is per rush and per attempted or reception. These are big numbers here.
No, they are. I definitely agree. They are. Hold on, my earphones are dying. Give me 1 second.
And that 90% went out pretty quick, man.
No, my earphones, not my computer.
Oh, okay. But you can still hear me, right?
Oh yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure you heard me now that it clicked off.
Okay.
So yeah, the numbers that they were giving up, correct? That's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say it's a great, I'm not gonna.
Tony, you sound like. Wait, hold on. Tony, can you hear me? Holy smoke! Does anybody else hear this?
Hear what?
Oh, it's my feedback from my side. It's what I'm feeling. Okay, I got this. I'm gonna go on mute and then you talk. You're not talking.
I'm so confused right now. Those numbers down. What? I don't know.
Is your laptop? Is the laptop still connected to Bluetooth?
It should be. Talk.
All right, Tony went on mute. So while he's on mute, guys in the chat, give me a thumbs up if I sound okay, just so I know if it's his feedback in the galactic. Yo, it sounded crazy, bro. They said Darth Vader. Do I sound all right, guys? Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Can you guys hear me? Hello. Thumbs up. All right. Oh, damn. All right. Boom. There are all the thumbs up. All right. So Tony, it's your microphone picking me up and stuff. So you got to play with the settings there for your audio. Maybe go to StreamYard and hit the more button and try to play with your settings in there. See if you can change it up over there. So while Tony tries to figure that out, again, let me just give you guys those numbers again, because I think those numbers are really important. I think the Niners could take advantage of a couple of different things, and it'll be interesting to see if Tony agrees with me. But again, the Patriots are ranked 28th in this season. That's a season stat with yards per completion to opponents. Now, if you go to the last 3 games, which is more recent than that, okay? in the last 3 games, they're actually giving up 12.1 yards per reception. So the Niners have an opportunity to really do something nice here. They can go after these guys, just stay away from the one side, but they can go after these guys, spread the ball out, and see if they can take advantage of that secondary, or just it doesn't necessarily mean secondary. It could be linebackers that are not playing well. The Niners will make a lot of guys, look bad in the passing game because we give the ball to the receivers and running backs behind the line of scrimmage a lot. So you're getting through. There's a lot more guys you got to go through, but we make it work. All right, here we go. Let's try it.
Am I better now?
Oh, he's back. He is back. All right.
I switched my ear. I got new ones.
Oh, okay.
So let's see how long these last. Wow, what the hell happened? What did I sound like?
Oh, you sounded like this. Now I think I'm broken. I swear that's exactly how it sounded. And then what I was saying, your computer was picking it up and it was saying it back to me in that voice. It was the craziest thing ever. It was nuts.
That's crazy. All right, so what are we talking about now?
All right, so I gave you the numbers. How do you think the Niners should attack based off of those numbers? And what would your game plan be going into this? So the Patriots in the last 3 games are giving up 12.1 yards per reception. All right, and then in rushing, rushing defense, opponent yards per rush, and in rushing in the last 3 games, they are giving up 4.2 yards per rush.
I think he should just stick to his game plan. I think he should do what he did versus the Rams, how he slowed. Why I sound messed up again?
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh, how he kept Aaron Donald off balance. I think that's what he has to do to his defense. And I think it'll open up the actual run game because they're going to kind of widen out, and then that's when they're going to hit the inside stuff. They'll force them to come in. Then they'll attack the outside zone. The pass game, it's really going to be interesting to see how the Kittle situation is going to be. Is Kyle going to try to force it at Kittle early to see what they can get and how much he can go to him and call the offense around him? Or is he going to go outside? Is he going to go to Debo, Ayuk, or Kendrick Bourne over the middle? Or just stick to the run? A heavy screen game you might see. So it's interesting. But I think, honestly, it wouldn't shock me to try to get Jimmy going early rather than run the ball to try to get the offensive line going. But how was that?
I didn't mean to put that message up.
So
So you think they should stick with the run even though the team's best running back is not active?
Well, we're going to talk about that in a minute. The best running back is not active. But don't forget, number one, our run game is more than just a running back. You have Ayuk, you have Debo, you have Kittle.
Your shit, Tony.
So we have a lot of different ways we can go in our run game. It's like a multiple attack from multiple ways, outside, inside, around the edge. So it's going to be interesting. I think you're going to get the heavy dose of McKinnon early, and I think Kyle's going to sprinkle in Hasty. I really think Hasty's running style is a little bit better fit for this blocking scheme, and the way they attack the defense and go downfield and try to cut off the second level. Where McKinnon's a little bit.
Better than McKinnon. Okay.
Yeah, McKinnon is a little bit slower to hit the line, where Hasty is fast to hit the line, but Hasty has that unreal ability to jump cut and still keep his speed. Like, I've never seen something like this before. It's crazy. Like, he'll hit that hole on an outside zone. He'll plant his foot, cut downfield, run downhill, and then he just jumps. Like, he hops. It's the weirdest thing. He keeps his speed. Majority of these backs, if you do something like that and you lift your feet off the ground, you slow down. This guy gets fast. So, and he's a physical runner too. So it's not like he can't take it, but I'm not going to just hand over the reins to him right now. I do think McKinnon's going to get some run. We'll see if Wilson's going to be active or if they bring up Walter from the practice squad. So it's going to be interesting. I really think Kyle might try to show Jimmy. Try to beat Bill with Jimmy. I think he's going to, in his head, he wants to try to do that. But I hope he doesn't get cute and tries to stick with it too much and get away from the basics and the bread and butter of this offense.
Well, they said Jimmy's first 6 passes last week, none of them went beyond the line of scrimmage.
No,
right?
out of 220 yards, I think they traveled maybe 30 yards in the air, his passes.
Right. It was something very, very low. So I mean, he can make Jimmy the hero, technically speaking, because we got to remember that when they run that jet sweep, not the orbit, but the jet motion, when they do that, that's considered a pass because Jimmy doesn't toss it.
It's in front of him. Yeah.
He tosses it
like a shovel pass.
Right. Just because he does it like that, it's a pass play. It's not a run play. And so that's how they were padding those stats. That's what I meant to say. I said statting those pads. But that's how they were padding the stats last week, and that's why it looked like Jimmy threw for 3 touchdowns when he really didn't. So this team is going to be very interesting now. I think what the 49ers need to do on offense is I lost Tony. Oh no, there's Kittle. Oh, there's Tony. Oh, I see you showing. Okay, I see what's going on. I think what the 49ers need to do on offense is stay balanced and try to keep Bill Belichick guessing. You're never going to confuse Belichick. You just got to keep him honest. Don't put Belichick in a position where he gets to dictate your offense with his defense.
No, I agree.
You got to keep him honest. I don't care. Now, the other side of the ball we can talk about. Now we can talk about the offense of the Patriots against our defense, and that's where I think we're going to run into some trouble. I saw Harris last week running 1,000,000 miles an hour into the screen, boom, and touch nobody. I don't know why he was running so hard and diving if he wasn't going to hit anybody. I've never seen anything like it before. It was like watching Bugs Bunny with the Matador cape and the pissed off bull, and he's just fight, and the bull's running into the wall behind him. And that's exactly what Harris was doing. I don't understand. He's got to calm down or slow down or something and be sure that he's squaring up and hitting these guys. All that speed, it does you no good if you're not hitting anybody. You're taking your own players out when you do that shit.
It's not only that. He's looking for the knockout blow. He's trying to jar the ball out of the receiver, the running back, the tight end's hands, and like just putting everything he has. But the problem is he's playing so uncontrolled. It's hurting him in the game. I like the mentality of him, but if you can't control your playing that way, you can't do it because you're gonna be a burden to the team. You're gonna hurt the team. So, Marine Ranger, thank you again for the contribution, $10, greatly appreciated. Kyle's going to play this game like the way he played the Saints last year. I could 100% see this if it becomes a shootout. I don't think it's going to be a shootout because I don't think Cam Newton right now is that type of quarterback with that type of offense. I don't see. I can't hear you.
No, I was on mute because the kids are playing with the cars on the road on the floor like that.
I don't. Good.
I hear what you're saying, and I'm going to agree with you. I don't think this is going to be a shootout, and I think the only time you're going to see Kyle airing it out like that is against a high-power team where he has to. He had to score quickly. We were down almost 3 scores at one point in the first half, and he needed to come back, right away. Yeah. So that's what he did. I don't think that's going to be Kyle's game plan at all. I think he wants to keep them on the sideline to hide the flaws of his defense, though. There's certain times where coaches want to keep the opposing team on the sideline, their offense, because that offense is high powered. Don't let them get into rhythm. I don't think that's what you're worried about this game. I think you're worried about protecting your defense now. Kyle has to make it a point to score. If we get 12 possessions, we got to score on 7 of them. And I'm not saying they all have to be touchdowns, but they need to be long drives where we get field goals at least. We have to sustain some drives, get a couple of first downs before we kick or score. We have to, because this defense has a lot of holes on it right now. The offensive line is down to two starters now from the beginning of the season. The secondary has literally no starters from the beginning of the season. Think about that. There are no starters in our entire secondary in this game on Sunday who started the game, started this season. And there's only 2 starters on the defensive line. There's only 2 starting linebackers. So 4 of your 11 are the original starters. That's it.
Not even, don't forget your
nickelback.
Your nickelback. Trent Williams, that's another guy.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, I think Kyle has to protect his defense this week. I understand that we have a defensive scheme, and I actually think Saleh doesn't get enough credit for his defensive genius. I think that Saleh comes up with a plan of attack, similar to how an offensive-minded coach would look at an opposing team's defense and say, let's attack this and let's attack that. I think that's how Saleh comes up with a defensive scheme. I don't think he gets enough credit for it because when it doesn't work, it's ugly, like that Dolphins game. You know what I'm saying? But, when it does work and things are on, Saleh, it looks like he's one of the best out there in the game. But what do you think? How do you think this all shakes out, man? How do you make this defense look good with only 4 of your starters out there?
Josh McDaniels are going to test them. I think they're going to test them. I think they're going to test the safeties, not the corners. I think it's going to be just like the Saints game where they attacked Marcel Harris with the tight end. Unfortunately, I don't know who their tight end is, but for the Patriots, I mean. So
do you think we do single high this week a lot more?
I don't know if they're going to do single high. I really don't. I think it's going to depend on what looks they come out with in the first couple of series as far as the Patriots offense versus our defense. I think, listen, Odin's here. They played a lot of man last week. Okay. I think that's a good fit for Rhett, and I think that's a good fit for Mosley. But we just have to see how they come out and what they're going to try to do. And I think that's when Saleh needs to make his adjustment, whether to stay too deep, cover 4, cover 3, whatever he decides is the best way to stop that offense. That's the way it's going to be. But I'm telling you right now, they are going to attack our safeties. I will bet money on it that Josh McDaniels is going after our safeties. So that's why I really think you could see a 2 deep look. Because not putting one safety on an island.
How does that coach attack safeties though? You have to come out and you have to come out in what kind of personnel?
If they come out in sorry, hold on. What the hell is going on here? Okay. If they come out, if the Niners come out in 2 deep look, cover 2, or even if they do the cover 4, the safeties are going to be, they attack the seams deep. That's where your safeties will be tested. Crossing routes, like, intermediate to deep crossing routes, post routes, dig routes, anything where it's going to make the safety make a decision. And like I said before, the perfect example is what Sean Payton did with Jared Cook versus Marcel Harris. He went right at him. The Niners were in man on a couple of those plays. Now, if the Niners go man and the outside corners are a man in the second and the safeties are in a zone, I could see they'll be all right. But if they have to go man where they walk somebody up to the box and they actually have to cover, like a Trevarius Moore or something, if they go like 4 wide, I could see that's where it's going to put the guy that's playing the single high in that situation on an island, and he's going to be tested. And another thing, like perfect example, I don't mean to cut you off, but the perfect example was, I don't mean to bring it up and reference it, but the Super Bowl play. Jimmy Ward was a single high safety. They ran that route. The guy, Tyreek Hill, sprinted at Jimmy Ward, made him commit to either, spin out and try to catch him. The minute he spun out, he broke that route off and went to the sideline. That's how you test safeties, those type of routes. But I don't think the Patriots have that type of speed on offense. So, I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not a Patriots fan. If there's Patriot fans in here, just please tell me.
The Patriots have scored 12 points last game against the Broncos, 10 points the week before that against the Chiefs, and then they had 36 points against the Raiders, 30 points against the Seahawks, and 21 points against the Dolphins this year. The 2 games that they scored, 20 plus points, or 20, let's say 22 or more, were the Seahawks, who have a horrible defense, and the Raiders, who their defense is come and go as it pleases. The Chiefs' defense is actually, I think, pretty bad. They only put up 10. And the Broncos' defense isn't as good as the 49ers, and they put up only 12. We got a shot here, man. I know our team is beat up, and I know it's not looking good, but we have a serious shot. Jason Maz, thank you for the contribution. He says it's the greatest show on earth. Hey, that's like Mystic, right? Made from the best, or is that Snapple? It's one of those bottled drinks. The greatest show on earth. What do you guys think about putting the game on Ayuk or Samuel's shoulders a little more through the air? So I'm assuming he means like don't run it, or those run design passes that they are credited as rushing passing yards. I actually have been waiting for the Brandon Ayuk game. Now they have this phenomenal corner there. What's his name?
Gilmore.
Yes, they have. He's one of the best in the league. I don't think there's any mistakes about that, right? Where do you think he just shadows Debo all game? Because if so, Ayuk could be.
I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, I haven't really watched Patriot games. I don't know if they play, if he shadows. I don't know if he stays one side. I don't know what they do. But it's going to be interesting.
The Patriots game plan on an individual game basis. On defense. The Patriots have never been this kind of team where we're just going to line up and we play our defense. Belichick puts together a very specific game plan for his opponent week to week. So he hasn't doubled any tight ends all year long. It doesn't mean he won't double George Kittle this week, but he just hasn't done it to date yet. Now that's also to his detriment. You know what I mean? When he played the Chiefs, they put up 26 points on him. You know, the Raiders put up 20. Now they won one of those games, they lost the other, but I mean, there's no, that's not George Kittle. Now Travis Kelce is a better pass catcher than George Kittle, and you still didn't double him. So I don't know. No one knows for sure.
I could see him going on Debo Gilmore. But it's going to be that's where Kyle comes in, and he's going to move Debo. He's going to motion Debo. He's going to. I don't know. I really don't know how, because of Kyle's like philosophy in the offense with running those orbit motions and jet sweeps and stuff like that. I think it's tough to say how they're going to cover the wide receivers, because let's face it, our game is heavy run. It's a heavy run attack, our offense, and it's based off the play action. So I really don't know. If they do stick to like a passing game attack on offense, I could see Gilmore going on Debo.
All right, so let's get up out of here, man. Are you going to be here on Sunday on game day for this game so we can do the pregame show?
I'm going to try to. I'm going to try my best to. I have to do something in the first half of the day. What time are we going? What time are we going on?
The game is at 4.
Yeah, we're 4:25 start. What time are you going on the show?
3:25, hour before, man.
3:25.
We'll probably do 3:15. We'll probably do 3:15. I'm asking because we don't have to go through everything tonight. I like to leave some stuff for the pregame show, final thoughts and how we think it's going to shape, because there could be more injuries between now and then. We could hear some news from either team. And so I don't want to go through all that right now if we're going to be if you're going to be back. But if you're not going to be back, I want to give you the opportunity to get your final thoughts off now.
Well, how about this? I'll give you my final thoughts, even if I'm going to be there or not, because you're going to have Nick and everybody else talking, and we're only doing an hour and 15-minute show. So I'll just do it real quick if you don't mind. Basically, I think Kyle needs to come out. He can't let his guard down. He's got to be aggressive. If they get up a 7-point lead, he's got to keep hitting them and keep hitting him and keep hitting him, because once he lets off the gas, that's when Belichick's going to come after him. I think Kyle on offense is going to move the formation. I think he's going to do a lot of jet sweeps like they did versus the Rams to slow down Darnold. I think you're going to see a lot of hasty this game. I think you're going to see a lot of screens to slow down their defensive front and make their linebackers think, instead of playing on their toes, playing on their heels, causing their reaction to be slow. And as far as the pass game, I just have a gut feeling that Kyle's going to give Jimmy an opportunity to shine this game. I really do. But as long as he does it in his philosophy of his offense, don't let him sit back there and try to pick him apart all game and throw 40 times to try to win this game. No, it's got to be based off of play action. Let Jimmy do his thing. Let him get comfortable. Let that offensive line get comfortable. One quick important thing, Rousseau gets to start at center. Brunskills is still at right guard. They're not moving anybody around. Rousseau is starting. So, the center exchange, that's going to be a big thing. The line calls, the continuity between the two guards in the center, that's another topic to talk about. What else? Let's flip it to the defensive side of the ball.
I think we see Jimmy under center a lot too because of that, just so you know.
I agree with that 100%. I agree with that. And I also think, listen, our top guy so far has been Hyder as our pass rusher. It's going to be interesting. They're down their offensive tackle. Let's see what Hyder could do. The two guys in the middle, Jones and Kinlaw, have been stepping their play up week by week by week. And hopefully, Kinlaw can get his first sack this week. I'm not saying it's a bold prediction, but I would like to see it. Armstead, I want to see Armstead start getting pressure. I know there's people saying that he's been double teamed a lot. He's playing the run a lot. You can take that any way you want. That's someone's opinion, how they evaluate the game film. But I really would like to see Armstead get some pressure and potentially get a sack today. I think he's got one sack all year. And it's going to be very interesting with this secondary. We got our corners in Verrett and Mosley. Our nickel's probably going to be Taylor. And listen, Trevarius Moore, everyone's been pounding the table to get this guy on the field. Why aren't they using him? Well, guess what? He's starting this week, and I'm really excited to see what he could offer. And the safety, whether it's going to be Harris or it's going to be Cyprian, I don't know who gets the starting nod, but I'm really look forward to see what they have. Hopefully Maiden gets some run soon. I really like that kid from Alabama, the undrafted free agent, but I think this gives the 49ers a golden opportunity to see what they have for the future. I'm not saying the season's over today, but they're going to have a lot of big decisions to make as far as the structure of their roster and who they're signing with minimal cap space. So I think they're going to get a good look at who's there and what they could do and how they fit into this team's future.
I like it, man. You gave us a lot to think on and sleep on, and we're going to stop right there. That's going to do it for us here tonight. Nice hour-long show. I want to thank you guys for checking it out here. Tony, man, if you were a gambling man, would you bet on the Niners this game?
I almost bet on the Niners last week. Listen, I had my bookie up.
You didn't do it.
I have a very tough time betting on the 49ers. I do. It's something that I just can't do because I feel like I jinx them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But well, I know you're probably going to put a bet in.
You bet against them last week, and you owe me a lunch, So I'm going to get that lunch.
You got it.
You know what I'm saying? But if I was a betting man, I actually would bet on the Niners this week. I don't know what the lines are and the odds. I haven't taken a look at that stuff yet. But there are a couple of games that are really, really tough to pick this week. And if you do a 2 or 3 game parlay, you could probably make some good money if you do it, if you come out on the right side of that. And the best place to go for that, guys, is mybookie.com or .co, however you choose to put it in. If you type in mybookie.com, make your first initial deposit, but you have to use the promo code NB9ers, and they will match your first contribution up to $1,000, guys. So go out there, get your free money. You have to earn it though. So I thought I was doing something slick. I went in there. I put the promo code. I put $100 in really quick just to see if I got the $100, and I didn't. And I said, "What the hell happened?" But then when I made my first bet, they matched the price of the bet. So you have to bet the money in order to get the money. See, but that means I didn't really lose anything though. So it worked out in my favor anyway. I still had the money in there. So they're smart because if it was a guy like me, I don't want to. Here's $1,000, give me $1,000 back, and I'm cashing out at $2,000. And I'm going home, right? Easiest money you ever made. That's what I was thinking. But they're on the knuckleheads like me, guys. So listen, go to mybookie.com and have some fun. They have prop bets. They have a whole bunch of different parlays and stuff that you can do. They have bets on presidential candidates and things they'll say in their speeches. They have bets on things that are not sports related. I mean, it's so much fun over there. Listen, gambling is something that can be addictive. Gamble responsibly, guys. And if you're going to do it at mybookie.com. Use the promo code NB9ERS for Nothing But Niners, NB9ers, and have some fun on us. All right. That's going to do it for tonight's show, man. We want to thank you guys for rocking out with us. We had a great time. Tony gave his final thoughts, and my final thoughts are going to be this, man. We have to make sure we stick by this team. Don't get discouraged and let reality set in, guys. I'm saying don't get discouraged, period. Let reality set in. Those are two separate thoughts. Reality is this defense is a shell of itself. We are not healthy on defense, despite what we are doing to these teams. That's a testament to who Robert Saleh is as a coach, as a coordinator, okay? We have to be realistic about what we're seeing here, guys. Jason Verrett was not the starter, okay? Emmanuel Mosley was not the starter, all right? Now we're going to be in here with two backup safeties. We're going to be missing Quan Alexander. We're going to be missing our starting edge guys. We're playing with guys off the street. We have to be realistic. Doesn't mean we can't expect to win. Doesn't mean we can't hope to win, but we have to be realistic. All right, so before we start killing people and saying this team is crap and trade everybody and get rid of everybody, let's pump the brakes a little bit and realize that the guys in charge had a plan. That plan got derailed by injuries. All right, that's going to do it for us here tonight, man. Tony, thanks so much, man. We just crossed the hour mark, so we're going to get up out of here. You guys know what we do. Prepare for glory.
Anticipate pain.
But always remain faithful. We're out of here, guys. Peace. As the baby screams.